Hey everybody, it's Mike. So I wanted to make a video about a question that has come up a lot in the comments. And so I will share that question with you. The question is, what is the difference between the codependent and somebody who's just a caretaker? And those of you who are recovering codependence, you are giggling. Some of you are laughing and rolling on the floor as, as you hear me say that, because you can hear in that question the codependent who is in some pretty serious denial. Now, my apologies to you if you believe that that's the case for you, that you're not codependent, that you're just a caretaker who has a lot of empathy. Forgive us for laughing at you. We're not laughing at you. We see ourselves in you, and you can decide. Here's the thing about codependence. The truth is the same about codependence as it is about borderline personality disorder, as it is about drug addiction, alcohol addiction, gambling addiction. These are deficits, diseases, illnesses, whatever word you want to use, that tell you they don't exist. And so, like the alcoholic who says, no, I can quit whenever I want. No, I'm not one of those people. I'm not addicted. Well, codependence is a form of addiction. And so, within it is inherent in it is denial. Is say, no, I'm not codependent. I just care a lot. I have a lot of empathy. We laugh at that, those of us who are recovering codependents, because we know that for us, that when we thought that we just cared a lot, when we thought that we just had too much empathy, when we thought we were there to take care of them, we now realize, in hindsight, that in fact we had our own selfish agendas as well. In fact, we had our own narcissistic agendas as well. And while we were able to see how the borderline used us because of their narcissism and their trauma, we also realized that we were using the borderline to try and fix our own trauma. The one thing that the codependent and the borderline have in common, and maybe this is where the denial really comes from, but the thing that both of them have in common is this hole in their gut, this need to be loved, this need to be nurtured. That something happened when you were a kid, you didn't get enough love and attention, or you got abused, or who knows, whatever the hell the trauma is. And it created this hole inside of you. And the borderline seeks out the codependent because they want to be saved. They want somebody that they can feed off of and who will save them and fix them. And they desperately want to be loved because they didn't get it as a little infant. That's understandable. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the trauma that happened to them, they're incapable of attaching and receiving love. They're incapable of it unless they get some kind of help. Now, the codependent is on a different scale. The codependent is able to take some love, is able to have more of a seemingly functional connection. They can attach, but unfortunately, they want to attach to the unlovable. They want to attach to somebody who can't take their love. Why do they do that? They do that because they're trying to recreate, maybe their mother was borderline or an alcoholic or a narcissist or who knows whatever else. And so they're trying to recreate a scenario where they're chasing after somebody that will never ever give them the love that they want. The feeling that induces within them is this need to caretake. It's this feeling of, I care for you, I have empathy for you. So I'm sorry, those of you who are saying that you want to make a distinction between a codependent and a caretaker who has a lot of empathy, it's false empathy. It's not real. Now, you're going to get very angry with me because you've wept about how much it hurts you. I know, I was there. I went through the same thing. But it just means that you're in denial over the fact that you also don't want to be loved. Because if you did, here's what would have happened. You would have gotten involved with a borderline, and within a week or so, or of whenever the weirdness started to happen, you would have gone, wow, this is not what I signed up for. I was looking for somebody who actually wanted to be loved. If really what you want is somebody who will let you love them, like you say, you would have realized very quickly that this person does not want to be loved, that they're not capable of it. You would have left and you would have found somebody who was, and there's no shortage of people out there who want to be loved and taken care of. You would have found one. So why did you stay with the borderline? Is it because, like, you want me to believe that you are actually in control and you've got this overabundance of love and empathy and wanting to caretake? It doesn't make sense. If that's really what you wanted, you would have found somebody who would have let you do that. So what's the disconnect there? Something's not right. Something's broken there. So it's either one of two things. Either you're right and you're not broken, there's nothing wrong with you, you just love too much and you got duped and you got attached to somebody and somehow you couldn't get out of it, but it's not because of any problem on your fault, it's because of them. Or it's because you had something missing within you and the borderline met some unresolved, unconscious, narcissistic need within you to feel like the caretaker, to feel like you were going to save them. It's a very powerful position. And people who are insecure, one of the things they like to do is to feel powerful. So loving somebody who won't love you, driving them to the hospital, taking care of all of their problems, the never-ending this, that, or the other thing, is a way for you to disassociate from your feelings of pain and loneliness and need and to feel powerful. Codependents are controlling people. And so loving somebody, caretaking somebody, even though you're filled with all this emotion, is also another way of trying to control people. Here's something else I've learned, and I've learned this a long time ago, is that codependents, when they come to fix you out of your negative feelings, they're not doing it because they want to make you feel better. They're doing it because they want you to stop making them feel badly. When you're in a lot of pain, that makes them uncomfortable because their own pain starts to come to the surface. And so the way that they deny that pain is to go out of their way to stop your pain. And, you know, they may be saying, oh, come on, it'll be okay. Come on, turn it around. Turn that frown upside down. Don't think like that. You'll be all right. Here, let me do this. Do you want a sandwich? Do you want this? Here's some milk. Do that. Here's some drugs. Here's a cigarette. What do you need? What they're really saying is, stop that. You're making me uncomfortable. Knock it off. Stop being in pain because I'm already in pain. Knock it off. It's very controlling. And if you notice, sometimes on here you'll find people who want to argue with me about this. They will write huge comments in the video section, you know, proving me point by point about why they're not codependent and why they're just really empathetic and they're just caretakers, and I need to stop saying that. I should stop. Well, if you're that comfortable with the fact that you're okay and there's nothing wrong with you, why do you need to shut me up so badly? So, as Shakespeare said, methinks thou dost protest too much. In any case, here's the bottom line. I'm not interested in getting in a flame war with anybody. The point is this. The sooner that you can accept two things, the sooner you can heal. Number one, they have a mental illness that prevents them from loving you and accepting your love. Period. End of story. It's never going to change. The best that you can get from an untreated borderline is that when you have continued to do the dance and you have opened yourself up and made yourself as vulnerable as possible with the hope that that's what's going to make them feel safe, because that's the weird message they're giving you. If you could just make them feel safe, it would be all right. The moment that you get to the point of your deepest, most vulnerable, trying to make them feel safe, that is when they're going to end the relationship for good, even if it's 2 months or 10 years. That's what their disease, their mental illness is waiting for. And when that happens, they will destroy the relationship. So that means the sooner that you can accept that they have a mental illness, that they are incapable of attaching to you, giving love to you, and taking love from you, sooner you can accept that and let go of the fantasy that you have of what you hope might be with them, the sooner you can heal. That's the first one. The second one is the sooner that you can accept that you are attached to them, that you want to heal them and take care of them because of your own narcissistic, unresolved emotional issues, that you have chosen a borderline because you are running away from real love, real commitment, and you've chosen somebody who can't love you back because you have an issue and that you are at a deficit and that you have a problem, that you're an addict, just like the sex addict, the drug addict, the whatever addict. The sooner that you can accept that about yourself, the sooner you can get out. So that's the point of what I want to say. That's what worked for me. And, I can't help you any other way than, share with you what worked for me. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, no problem. But those are the two things. Number one, they have a mental illness. It's never going to work. And number two, you chose them because you have, at the very least, an emotional illness that prevents you from being able to actually love and be seen and work through your own pain. Okay? It's all a farce. The whole thing, from beginning to end. And so the answer to the question is, what's the difference between what's the difference between somebody who's a codependent and somebody who just has a lot of empathy and is the caretaker? Is nothing. The codependent, by definition, is somebody who has too much empathy and is a caretaker to their own detriment. That is the definition of codependent. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.